We have returned to League Unlock. Eric and Mark hanging out with you guys, checking out the tastiest and juiciest storylines ahead of this World Championship, and there's a lot you could pick from Group C. Obviously, the Group of Death, as you heard Rekkles say, it's basically three of probably the top 5-6 teams at the entire event.
Did not sound tilted whatsoever saying that.
I'll tell you, the main reason he's probably tilted is because of the most exciting storyline in this one, and it's Rekkles versus Uzi, RNG versus Fnatic, however you want to spin it, but probably the two best AD carries from their respective regions. We know they both have quite a bit of respect for each other. Rekkles always has a bromance. He only has it with the best AD carries, though, either Deft or Uzi, and I mean, this rivalry has been very fun to watch over the last few years.
It's been one of the best to watch in League of Legends, and especially, hey, we've had a lot of these type of rivalries or big type of showdowns that always go on with these prime ADCs, and this is certainly one of those ones where, hey, if this was boxing, any type of prize fight, UFC, you'd look at this one and go, man, that is not the type of record.
Maybe it's not a rivalry, actually.
Yeah. Hey, if you're going by this scoreline, it absolutely is not a rivalry. It's been one-sided beatdown coming from Uzi and the rest of RNG in that type of situation. But you are right, this is kind of the icons here of this role here from their respective regions. And again, this is the team and a region here in the LPL with RNG, a really respected organization here. And this is the player in Rekkles who has maybe the most respect here for the LPL and these type of players. This is someone, like you said, has a special type of relationship with the other type of elite players at that position. You've seen Rekkles talking a lot in these type of ranking type of lists here, goes into great depth of what he enjoys.
Uzi's always won.
And Uzi is always there for him, as he rightly should be, the god himself here for RNG in this squad. And hey, they're both going to be major factors when it comes down to getting out of this group here.
And they kind of have similar starts to their careers, really, when you go way back. Both of them started playing when they were 16. Their teams saw their talent early, immediately signed them and groomed them. They didn't get to play in their domestic leagues until they both obviously turned 17 when they were playing there. But it was just an incredible start for them, and that they're here all these years later and you're still talking about them, the very best at their role. It's amazing. The numbers there, obviously, heavily favored for Uzi. They have gotten the better, RNG has. But in most of those matchups, RNG was just the better team. So it's a little unfair.
Yeah, hey, you can't be putting all of that record there on Rekkles himself, of course, in that type of situation. But hey, approaching this time, this type of time at Worlds here, this is certainly going to be one of the type of situations where, hey, if Fnatic is going to be able to get the job done here, getting out of this group, getting to finally get some of these victories over the likes of Uzi, it's going to be coming down to the performance that Rekkles is able to dish out here, the damage that he's able to keep up here for this Fnatic squad is going to be a major point here if they're getting by Uzi and the rest of the RNG squad.
Yeah, and this rivalry, I mean, technically it started way back in 2013, but that wasn't Rekkles playing. It was Puju there grabbing a quadra kill against Uzi, RNG.
You gotta love the differences here. And again, this speaks to the amount of time that's gone on in this type of series here, is just seeing the difference in the graphics between the game. You're almost like, man, this is a different game that you're playing at this point.
I mean, the only player still from either of those rosters playing was Uzi back in 2013. Then they got to the quarterfinals in 2017. That was when Fnatic went on their miracle run to get out of groups from 0-4 to 4-4, where they qualified. They did take a game off of RNG, and it was actually a very close back and forth series. It looks closer than that 3-1 score line, but again, it was Uzi coming out on top, and then we saw them at MSI in 2018. And I think this is where the real mental block kind of storyline came in for Rekkles against Uzi. It was fresh off his MVP performance in the spring split in EU, where he was so dominant, and you never saw that against Uzi.
Yeah, and that was certainly one of the regrets that you would have about this type of situation here, is that you never saw that. You never saw the Rekkles that we had been seeing here, and kind of, a quote-unquote peak type of level of performance here coming through from this star player. We didn't see it at that big moment here, and again, a big moment for himself as well, going up against the likes of Uzi, this player that not only has been type of this special relationship as far as, kind of competitive, jeez, holy moly. different sides of the teams here. Competitors.
We got there.
Competitors. There we go. Getting through
Competitors.
on here. And what's going on as well here, of course, is that appreciation of that mechanical skill on how to play your role to the very best. And of course, Rekkles, as someone has been a marksman, has been this ADC for a long time, does have this appreciation and respect for his competitor in Uzi.
Yeah, and 0-5 they went against RNG in that MSI for 2018. But again, the metas were very different. That's why RNG dominated that event. They played solely around Uzi in that bottom lane. Not going to be the case here in 2019. And how do you take this rivalry and storyline to the next level? Well, you make Uzi play against Karma and Garen in the bottom lane. That's got to be the next chapter.
Hey, this Fnatic bottom lane is certainly going to be providing a nice level of challenge here, some different challenge than Uzi has really been facing, and especially than really different than he's been facing so far this year in the LPL. I'm going to be given that different type of look, but this certainly isn't going to be just about Uzi and Rekkles. That is our big storyline here, but you can't be forgetting about Nemesis, the rookie, going up against Xiao, who trying to pick himself up here. Some nice experience in a really tough matchup against a star mid laner, and of course, there's going to be some jungle.
Another mid laner too in this group? I can't remember.
Hey, we can't even begin talking about that squad here when you're talking Fnatic and RNG. You still have Karsa and Broxa in the jungle, and that is going to be a showdown here of some superstars going on in the jungle.
Yeah, I think the secondary most interesting story outside of the teams in this group is Nemesis going up against obviously the greatest mid laner of all time, but also, I mean, Xiao Hu has been on the competitive scene for so long. So for this rookie mid laner to make his international debut against two of the all-time great mid laners, what an amazing test for him. And I know he's pretty confident in himself and he's up to the challenge.
Hey, you really want to be seeing them find success here in this iteration, but I will remind Fnatic fans that back in the time where, hey, again, you had to face off against RNG before here with your younger Fnatic squad, you had players like Broxa and Caps getting some very valuable international experience. And hey, it didn't work out that time, but it certainly has worked out for those players internationally since then. You could be seeing that here again with Nemesis heading into this group with RNG, and of course SKT is the big boss here for this Group C.
Yeah, you really speed up your evolution and growth when you throw them in the pool.
Trial by fire.
Absolutely Faker and Xiao Hu. But we have seen Nemesis grow even quicker, I would say, than we saw Caps in the mid lane. Who knows if he'll ever reach the same ceiling, which, by the way, is pretty darn high. That's all the time today for League Unlock. Eric and Mark with you guys. Thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you on the flippity flop.